Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're heading into a very interesting week because, as we know, initially season 2 was supposed to be launching this week. Instead, it's now dropping on the 14th, which means from now until then, we're in a very interesting time. As of right now, Raven really hasn't previewed all that much regarding what'll be happening in this next 2 weeks while we wait for season 2. However, they have actually previewed some new updates and some new changes coming to Warzone in the near future. And also, we got even more information on what's going to be happening to Warzone once Warzone 2 arrives. Specifically, what's going to be happening to Warzone as we know it right now once the new iteration of Warzone drops. So as we go over it all today, if you enjoy the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. Really do appreciate all the support on the videos lately. And of course, if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, news, updates, loadouts, tips. You'll find it all right here. So feel free to sub with your notifications turned on. So first things first, as I'm sure you know, if you consistently tune into the videos, especially on Mondays where we usually preview the week ahead and whatnot, we usually turn to the Trello board. We get some new information and some new previews as to what's to come this week in Warzone. However, as of right now, there's no usual playlist preview listed here. We have last week's playlist preview, and that's it. They haven't ever updated it for the next 2 weeks. We know we're going to still see some playlist updates come Thursday. We'll probably see some iteration of Vanguard Royale or Vanguard Resurgence on Caldera. We'll probably see something to do with Plunder, some new Rebirth options, but they haven't officially previewed that for whatever reason. What they have previewed, though, is some new XP events set to take place just after the launch of Season 2. It seems like starting on the 17th and going to the 18th, we're going to have some PlayStation-specific double XP, so just rank XP. Honestly, not the craziest PlayStation exclusive there. But then starting on the 18th and going all throughout that weekend until the 21st of February, we're going to see some double XP, some double weapon XP, and also some double battle pass tier progression. And that's honestly pretty ideal because, like I said, Season 2 will have just launched. We're going to have the brand new Season 2 battle pass, so everyone will be able to fly through some of those tiers. And also we'll have some of the brand new Season 2 weapons that we can use that double weapon XP to help rank those up rather quickly. So that's definitely nice to see. Still a ways out though. Kind of curious that they're not previewing any XP events for the end of Season 1. Usually we have some tier sales for the battle pass. We usually see some double battle pass tier progression, sometimes some bonus XP. As of right now, they haven't previewed anything there though, so interesting that they're already previewing the Season 2 XP events. Nonetheless, we do have those to look forward to. And since we last looked at the Trello board over the weekend, we did see one new update added here from Raven regarding a new fix or a new change. For Black Ops Cold War weapons, players will notice that Cold War weapons do not unlock regardless of the requirements and player levels. So I've seen a lot of comments saying, hey, it says I need to be level 17 to unlock the Swiss or whatever weapon, insert weapon here, right? Yet I'm level 34 and I don't have that gun unlocked. They are looking into that. Is a known issue, and by, I would assume, Season 2 at the latest, we're going to see a fix for that, so they are aware of that. But yeah, definitely a very weird quote-unquote preview for what's to come and what Raven's recently revealed. But moving on, let's talk the Legacy update for Warzone, which is a name that we really haven't heard. That's not necessarily official, but it seems like that's what people are referring to it as for now. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors over the past 2 weeks or so with the news of Warzone 2 and Xbox acquiring, or Xbox planning to acquire Activision and Blizzard, and Microsoft obviously overseeing all that. But Tom Henderson, who is a very familiar name on this channel, we've talked about his information a lot because he is very, very credible when it comes down to it, recently talked about the plans for Warzone once we see this Warzone 2. I highly doubt that's going to be the official name, but that's what we're calling that as well for the time being. And it's actually very good news for anyone worried about what's going to happen to the state of Warzone, the Warzone that we're playing right now, when this new Warzone ends up releasing. So his first initial tweet here actually has to do with Modern Warfare 2, aka Modern Warfare 2022. He actually said he was hearing a lot about Modern Warfare 2 and how the gunsmith and the class system was going to be changing from various insiders and his own sources. And he was kind of confused how that would work with its integration to Warzone, but with Warzone 2 being this separate entity, basically, it would make a lot of sense. So he doesn't go into details about how the gunsmith or the class system could be changing. I would imagine it's still going to be a very in-depth gunsmith, sort of like what we had with MW 2019. That was a huge draw, and it was really well received because you could go in and make all these secret gunsmith blueprints that were actually weapons that weren't in the game, but you could basically build them off of different weapons. The gunsmith in MW 2019 was phenomenal for what it's worth, and I would imagine something similar to that's going to be returning, but it does seem like they're going to be updating it and changing that alongside the class system, at least a little bit according to what Tom has heard. But when it comes to Warzone 2, these changes and these updates to the gunsmith system and to the class system shouldn't really affect the Warzone as we know it now, because it wouldn't be integrated into Warzone as we know it now. So over on Tom's Twitter, he put out this sort of diagram, if you will, where you have this overview of Warzone's umbrella, and the umbrella has two different stems, if you will. One is Warzone Legacy, which is the Warzone that we know now with Vanguard and Cold War and Modern Warfare weapons, and it's obviously available on all consoles. There's also the Warzone 2 stem, which is the MW2 clean slate that is likely going to be available on just current gen, which is PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, alongside PC, with past gen consoles being a considered option but not necessarily confirmed by any means. And in theory, there'd also be no cross-gen play, so Xbox One and PlayStation 4 be able to play together if in fact Warzone 2 is available on those platforms, whereas all the current gen PS5, Series X and S and PC would be playing together, but there wouldn't be that cross-generation cross-play anymore. But what Tom also mentions in this little diagram of his is that Warzone Legacy, the Warzone that we're playing now on all platforms with MW, Cold War, and Vanguard weapons, would still be supported even though Warzone 2 would be releasing. So it's not like they'd be completely abandoning Warzone right now and just switching over to Warzone 2 for their entire focus. We'd still see both games updated, which is huge news, because I've seen especially the vast majority of the comments saying, well, what's the point in grinding out any camos for my weapons? What's the point in buying any new blueprints for my guns or operator skins if none of that's going to carry over? Well, that's not really a fear if Warzone as we know it now is still going to be updated with new content and new things over the course of time. Nothing would really be taken away at that point. While Warzone 2 would be that clean slate, and Tom says that, you know, assets may not carry over to Warzone 2. Stats, curiously enough, though, might. While we wouldn't have all of our old MW and Cold War and Vanguard stuff available in Warzone 2, it'd still be all usable in current Warzone, which would still see updates, which is huge news. So essentially, Warzone and Warzone 2 would be two completely separate games. It wouldn't just be known as Warzone. So I'd imagine they'd consider calling Warzone right now Warzone Legacy, in the future maybe Warzone Pacific, whatever name they stick with, and then Warzone 2 would be that primary Warzone, but not the only Warzone that they're focusing on, which really, I feel like is the best way to go about it, because those that want to continue to play Warzone as we know it now with their current favorite weapons, all their max camos, all their current operator skins, they can continue to do so without fear of the game being completely abandoned and never seeing any future updates. That wouldn't be the case according to Tom's information here, which, as always, you know, take this all with a pinch of salt. It's not officially confirmed, but Tom is very reliable and very credible. So those that want to do that can do so without fear of the game not being supported. Those that want to upgrade, though, to the current gen and play with the FOV slider for console, play on that new gen only crossplay with a fresh series of weapons on this new upgraded engine, can play Warzone 2, and that'll obviously see plenty of updates as well. So it's a win-win for both parties. And like I said, that is great news, because there was a lot of worry, there was a lot of concern when the news of Warzone 2 first surfaced with what would happen to Warzone now, the old Warzone, at the point in time in which Warzone 2 releases. And keep in mind, this could still drop at the end of 2022, just after COD 2022. This could drop in the spring of 2023, or even later on into 2023. We're still quite some time away from this release, so a lot could end up changing. A lot of things could be updated, things could be scrapped, new things could be added in. As we get any new information on anything revolving around Warzone 2 or Warzone Legacy, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated here on the channel. So stick it here for that and everything else going on in COD. Make sure you're subscribed with your notifications turned on. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know by dropping a like on it. It would be seriously appreciated, and it does really help the channel grow. As always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WHosImmortal for a discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. And the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.